All right, let's talk about supplies. This is a pastel drawing, so you're going to need to draw with soft pastels. You can buy them fairly inexpensively. Go to Hobby Lobby, Michael's, or buy them online from a place like dickblick.com or jerrysartorama.com. You'll see that they are square on one end and very long rectangular on another. Sometimes you can find them in half sticks that are about half this length, and one advantage of that is you can get more colors in a set. This is a set of 24, but it's actually only a partial set because if you notice, this has a lot of greens and pinks and yellows and oranges. It doesn't have any blues in it, and so this is just a partial set that I'm using. And actually I have a larger set. Let me move those over here so that you can see actually what I'll be working with. This is a little bit more substantial set, and it's a little bit more expensive, but again, the nice thing with artists soft pastels is they often are very reasonably priced. Now you can spend a lot more money and get extremely good quality pastels, artist's quality, but if you're just starting, you want to go with student grade, and so you can get you a set of 12, or actually I recommend at least a set of 24. 48 will give you more shades. One of the reasons that's important is, unlike with paint, pastels just don't mix well. When you draw with pastel, you layer colors, and so because of that, you need, if you want to have a greater range of colors that you can draw with, then you need to buy a larger set. So this is a fairly substantial set. You can see as I move it up and down, the whole thing won't even fit in the frame of the picture. But that gives me a lot to work with. So those are our pastels. That's what we will actually do the drawing with. Now I also am going to use some fluorescent pastels in the sky. And that's because, as I mentioned, this is based on a chalk drawing that I do. And of course, when I do a chalk drawing, I normally put an invisible picture. I'm not going to do that with this because then you'd have to buy some very expensive chalk to draw in a hidden picture, and eventually I will show you how to do that, but not in this lesson. But to make it a little bit more fun, you can actually buy these on the See the Light website. Just go to seethelightshine.com and go to the store and look under supplies, and you'll see a set of these fluorescent. Sometimes these will come in a set like this, but you usually have to buy a pretty large set to get them, so you can get them from us. And what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to put just a hint of a sunset type of effect, most of it down near the bottom of the sky, just to kind of make it a little bit more fun. So if you have a black light, you can have fun with that. So that's a summary of the chalks. I'm going to move all of this out of the way for now, and a couple other things that I'm going to use. Let's talk about blending stumps. These are not essential, but when you're working again with pastel or other drawing media, these can come in really handy. This one here is called a tortillon, and I don't know if you can tell, but if you turn it on its end, you can see that it's sort of hollow inside, and it basically looks like a piece of paper that's been rolled up very tightly, and that's pretty much what it is. This, on the other hand, is more solid, and each kind of serves its own purpose, but the idea is, I do a lot of blending with my fingers, but when I'm working in a very small format like this, my finger can be too big sometimes. Like if I'm down here trying to do some of this detail, my finger will just muddy it, or it'll make the object larger than I want it to be. So that's when blending stumps come in. These are very inexpensive. Again, you can find them at art supply store. You can find them online, and they're handy to have. I have a whole bunch of them that I use very frequently. All right, something over here that I use, and I'm not showing the packaging, but I have baby wipes. Now, you can use anything, but what I like to do is be sure that my fingers are clean when I'm moving from color to color, because I don't want to, like, if I touch some blue up here, I don't necessarily want to carry it to another part of the drawing. So I keep baby wipes handy, and that helps me clean my hands in between colors, and just keeps me from muddying up my drawing. All right, the last thing, and certainly not least, is the paper. I recommend using pastel paper. Now you'll notice, wow, this is, it almost looks like construction paper because of the color, but this is called pastel paper. I'm going to fan it out and show you that there are quite a few different shades or tints. Here's a nice kind of a robin egg blue. There's a dark, dusky, bluish gray. This is kind of a peach or a pink almost. Now this is actually a pink. This is more of a peach. But the point is, as you look through this stack of pastel paper, you'll notice that although there are some white sheets, there's a white sheet right there. Most of the sheets are toned, and that's something that's unique with working with pastel. Is most pastel artists prefer to work on a toned surface, and that's because pastels just tend to show up better when you're working on a toned surface as opposed to white. The color of the paper actually can enhance the drawing that you're doing. So that's one of the reasons that I've got quite a few different colors of paper here. I'm going to, I think, and for example, I've got this, which it's hard to describe. It's a little bit kind of almost a brownish gray, kind of a warm gray color. I've got this one here, and I will go back and forth, and a lot of times I will decide on the paper based on what it is I'm trying to draw and what's going to highlight the color. For this picture, I'm kind of torn between the blue and the gray, and I think I'm going to go with the blue. I think that will show things up. Now, if you notice, here's the flip side of that drawing, and I went with kind of a darker brownish gray with it. So, but I'm gonna go with the blue on this one. Something else with pastel paper, and again, because of the video resolution, you may not be able to see it quite as well, but pastel paper has what we call tooth, and that means it's slightly rough. I don't know that you can really see it, but tell you what, I'm going to take a little bit of chalk here and just move it across so you can see that tooth. Okay, can you see that? Okay, see how there's a lot of little, almost like depressions in the paper, and that's something that you want. For pastel work, you can try something like construction paper. It's probably not going to hold up that well, and it's not going to hold as much of the chalk. If you were to use copying paper here, a good deal of the chalk would fall off. That's one of the advantages of having tooth on your paper. So get pastel paper. You can again find that online, and this tutorial webpage, I'm going to have links to all of the places where you can get some of these supplies. So if you really want to have better results, get paper that has some tooth in it, and once you have all of those supplies, you're going to be pretty much ready to go. So I've got my clean sheet here. I'm going to take the rest of this pastel paper out of the way, and I'm going to put my drawing away as well. And then it's going to be time to do our picture. And we'll come back for part one, which is going to be the sky.